Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the British Council Information Webinar for the scholarship that we are offering to English teachers in India. We are doing this in collaboration with the University of Stirling, and today we will take you through the entire application process. I am Namrata. I work with the British Council, and I'm joined by my colleagues Priya and Jaswinder. From the University of Stirling, we have Adnan, Viola, and Yoshita. Adnan and Viola will talk about the University of Stirling and take you through the details of the course and application process. And Yoshita will be there to address any questions about the application. Priya will take you through the scholarship criteria as to what the British Council scholarship is all about. We will take up all your questions at the end of it, but please keep them coming up in the chat. You can start adding your question there and then, and we'll take the questions at the end. Also, please note that we are recording this session. So over to you, Adnan.
All right. So just give me a second, everyone, to share my screen and then welcome you all again. All right. Hopefully you all see my screen okay. All right. There we go. So can everyone see my screen okay? All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on the British Council Scholarship for English Language Teachers in India. So I'm Adnan Yilmaz. I work as a lecturer and also the program director for TESOL programs at the University of Stirling in the UK. So in this presentation, together with my colleague, Dr. Viola Wiegand, we're going to provide some information about the city of Stirling, the University of Stirling in general, and also our MSc TESOL online program. So I'll begin with talking about the city of Stirling and also the university in general. Okay, you may, oops, all right. So you may have the question why Stirling would be the city that I should go or should be in for this particular scholarship program. So Stirling is one of the most affordable cities in the UK, and it's also it's ranked as one of the safest cities in Scotland as well. It's top 3 happiest place to live in Scotland. You may be questioning that this is an online program, why we have this information here. Bear in mind, you're part of, when you're within the program, you will be part of that community. Plus, you will have a 2-week visit to Stirling during the program. So these are important points for you to bear in mind. So what else about Stirling? Stirling is a vibrant and student-centered city. So we have a lot of students on our campus in this city as well. It's a warm and friendly, it has a warm and friendly community feel. So when you're in Stirling, you feel like you're home. Within Stirling, it's really easy to get around with public transport, cycling routes, and road network. And Stirling is very close to Glasgow and Edinburgh, so it's just 30 to 40-minute train travel to these cities. So very easy to navigate within Stirling. And within Stirling, we have a wide range of part-time employment opportunities as well. Okay, let's move on. So as I mentioned, Stirling is a vibrant city. It has a really vibrant history with different historical sites to visit when, especially you are here during your 2-week visit to Stirling or to the UK. So we have, for example, Stirling Castle, the Old Bridge of Stirling, and Volas Monument as some of the historical sites that you can visit while you are here. It's a cosmopolitan city with a lot of people from different nationalities, different cultural backgrounds, different walks of life. So when you are here, you won't feel that you are the only person from a different country or from a different culture. You will see a lot of people from different cultures and nationalities or countries. Stirling has a lot of cozy coffee shops where you can read your book while enjoying a cup of coffee and also hang around with your friends there. We have a really lively nightlife here in Stirling as well. There are bars, cafes, nightclubs where you can hang around with your friends. So why University of Stirling? At Stirling, we have more than 18,000 students globally, and these students represent 140 nationalities all over the world. And our campus is ranked first in the UK and top 3 in the world. So our campus is really very much in the nature where it has this really lively and beautiful scene. And 92% of our international students from Stirling feel really welcome in the UK, in the city as well. And we are top 10 in the UK for good teachers and expert lectures. And 93% of our students express great satisfaction with the career services provided at Stirling. And again, 96% of our students felt their qualification would have an impact on their future career, especially when they are, looking for jobs or doing job hunting. So here I'm going to play a short video of Stirling. All right. So back to our presentation. Oops. All right. So this was a short video of the University of Stirling, the city of Stirling. So at Stirling, we have a really nice sports facilities that are ranked first in the UK and top 5 in the world. We have invested about £20 million in our new sports complex with 2 purpose-built, air-conditioned fitness studios, a state-of-the-art gym and indoor cycling studio, 3-court sports hall, strength and conditioning areas with sector-leading equipments, world-class high-performance fitness suite, and communal spaces, viewing deck, changing areas, cafes, and receptions. So our sports facilities are really great when you're especially here to do some workout, especially during your visit, as I mentioned. Okay, so some brief information about the master courses at Stirling, especially the TESOL courses, of course. So we have an experienced team of lecturers and researchers. So when you are studying at Stirling, you will feel that, scholarship, that research background through our lectures, through our seminars. We have really diverse and international student cohort. So within our online students, we have students across different countries, like China, India. So this year, for example, we have 5 students in our first year cohort and 3 students in our second year cohort from India. So you also have the option to continue TESOL studies at Stirling with a PhD degree in TESOL research, of course. So we have both on-campus and online programs. For on-campus programs, we have MSc TESOL and MSc in English Language Teaching and Management. For the online program, we have MSc TESOL Online. If you apply for this scholarship and if you become successful, you will be a part of the MSc TESOL Online program. So at this point, I'm going to leave the floor to my colleague Viola Wiegand to continue the presentation and provide some further information about the MSc TESOL Online. Viola, over to you.
Thank you, Adnan. So I'm also a lecturer on the TESOL program here at Stirling, and I also coordinate the online program that you're all interested in, I assume, if you want to apply for the scholarship that we have for this program with the British Council. The online program is a part-time course. It's entirely delivered online. Students do have the option of attending modules on campus if they wish. So that's open to anyone on the online program. If they want to make a switch, they can come to Stirling. You could come to Stirling for actually completing a module. That would be self-funded, however. But as Adnan has mentioned, there is a 2-week visit included in the scholarship, and I will get back to that later. So this online program is ideal for those who want to study while continuing to teach. There is a requirement to already have 2-year teaching experience, and that makes for really useful and rich discussions and activities as we work through the modules together. We really emphasize a balance between theory and practice, and we use a range of innovative teaching methods on our modules. So we focus on the development of advanced professional capabilities and knowledge in language learning and teaching. And this is facilitated through regular guided group work tasks online. Through our different modules, you have the option to specialize in pathways, such as the TESOL and computer-assisted language learning. So we'll now have a look at an overview of what the program looks like. We've got around 2.5 years on this program. In your first year, you will complete 3 taught modules, and you will complete 1 at a time because we know you are busy in your teaching profession already. So it's around 8 weeks per module. Then that is followed by an assessment phase, and then the next module starts. So the semester time runs from the end of September to around the middle of April. In your first year, you then have a few months of a break. That might be when you come to Stirling for your campus visit, but we're still confirming when exactly that will take place. And then in your second year, you have another 3 taught modules. And you can see the typical modules that we offer listed here. This does depend on the availability of modules and staffing as well as demand, but you get an idea. So you will be introduced to key principles of language learning and teaching, and also different teaching methods in TESOL. But because this is a master's program, of course, it's also rooted in research, and you will yourself learn research method skills. And this program in particular also emphasizes technology in language education, and that is of particular importance to the scholarship. So in the end, you then complete your dissertation with the help of a supervisor. And we have a little bit more detail on that dissertation on the next slide. Thank you, Adnan. So the dissertation is an independent research project where you then get the chance to apply those research skills that you have already gained in the research methods module. And you will choose a specialist topic, carry out the research, and write that up for your dissertation. We have a few examples here of previous dissertation topics. You get a sense of our international cohorts, and that first title there is actually an example of a technology-focused dissertation that tested the effect of videos on improving listening skills in the Greek context, for example. So the dissertation is a chance for you to develop your own project and also to demonstrate your learning and skills to your employer or future employer. So let's move on then. Adnan has already indicated the different rankings of the university. The TESOL program itself is set within the education division. So here are a few more pointers to how we're doing in education, also very well ranked within Scotland and in the UK as a whole, and generally really, really high student satisfaction rates in TESOL in particular. The program is also very useful for your career path. I would really like to highlight here the excellent career services that you will have access to at Stirling. This actually will continue beyond the 2.5 years of the program. The University of Stirling is quite special in that it provides lifelong career services to you. So you can come back in 5 years, 10 years to get that career support. And we also have tailored TESOL career support. We run a series of workshops, of webinars open to our online and on-campus students, where the dedicated career consultants come and present specific services and support to our TESOL cohorts. We have had really successful alumni as well, and you can find out more about that from that workshop series, etc. So then let's get on to the scholarship, because that's what you're really interested in. This is exactly for that online program that I've been talking about. So 2.5 years, around 30 months, is specifically for English language teachers in India. We have a few eligibility requirements, and we'll get into those in a moment. But this is just to cover the general points. We've mentioned a 2-week visit to the UK, where we will organize a program of social and academic activities for you to get to know the campus and Stirling and our on-campus students, but also to make use of some of our on-campus facilities while you are here to, for example, meet those career counselors in person, to meet with our excellent student learning services team, and of course with us as the TESOL team. You'll have a few academic sessions while you are here. And you would also have a chance to then try out those sports facilities that Adnan has talked about. So there will be requirements, and we will learn about those in a moment. I will also later on take you through the application procedure, but there's the link already, and we can share that in the chat in a moment as well. Let me just give a brief overview of the application timeline then. So we do have enough time for you to complete this, but do take a note of these deadlines. So we have 2 stages of deadlines, because firstly, you need to apply for the master's program itself. You need to complete the master's application form on the University of Stirling website, and we ask that you do that by the 26th of April. The scholarship application deadline is the 22nd of May, and that is a harsh deadline. That's as late as we can go. And we need you to hold an offer for the master's program by then. So please really complete that master's application form very soon, and then you can continue to the scholarship application. And the successful applicants will be informed in early July. The program itself starts at the end of September, so we do need a little bit of time around that. Thank you. Yeah, we've got another testimonial here just to highlight a bit of how previous students have enjoyed the program, and they point out in particular the flexibility that this online program allows, but also the supportive tutors. And we do try to really have that personal connection with you despite the online program. We have well-structured modules. And another point that this previous student points out here is this ability or this chance to reflect on their previous teaching experiences. And that's something we bring in every session, where we ask you to apply the knowledge and the theory and the methods and approaches to your own experience. And it's really exciting because the students on this cohort are teaching as we go through the modules. So sometimes they get to try out new methods immediately in the same week and then report back on how that went. We also have a range of student support. With that dedicated contact time, we do value flexibility, and you can work through the online modules in your own pace, but we also offer synchronous sessions on Teams at the beginning of modules, at the beginning of the whole program, of course, with an induction meeting, and then at other strategic points, for example, for assessment support. You will also have a personal tutor appointed, just like any other University of Stirling student, and other services are available. I've mentioned the careers. There's also a well-being team. And we have English language support, and not necessarily just for the English language, but for academic communication and writing. So we have the student learning services colleagues that will be offering a session during the campus visit, but they also offer webinars for our student cohort, for TESOL in particular, and they are available for one-to-one online appointments to discuss drafts with you, because we know it's quite a change to move from full-time teaching to do full-time teaching and a part-time master's degree, and also a change maybe in perspective from previous education experiences to UK master's programs and their assessments. So that's all I want to say at this point. Thank you very much for listening, and I will hand over to Priya. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Viola. That was a really comprehensive information sharing, and I'm equally excited. I'm not sure if I'm more excited than the participants themselves. Like Namrata mentioned at the beginning, I will be talking you through the scholarship itself. I'll tell you all about what the British Council Scholarship is, and I'll also try to shed some light on the criteria for application to the scholarship. So before I move, I want to try sharing my screen. Can you confirm if you can see my screen fine? Okay, great. Unfortunately, it's not moving for me. Sharing. Hope you can still see my screen.
Yes, we can.
So why are we, just to give you a background of the scholarships, it's aimed to provide opportunities for two individuals with the University of Stirling. So you will be able to secure a scholarship for yourselves, two people, two English language teachers from India. And like Viola mentioned, it is for you to complete a master's degree in English language teaching with an emphasis on the use of technology. The university we are associating with for the two individuals, for two teachers here, is the University of Stirling. Viola has already shared the details about the MSc TESOL online program. Why are we offering these scholarships? Because we'd like to provide you teachers, the English language teachers from the government school sector specifically in India, to access world-leading continuing professional development opportunities and to reach your fullest potential. So our aim through these scholarships is for you to have an increased knowledge and understanding in the field of English language teaching and learning, and a particular focus on educational technologies to enhance your teaching and learning experience. We hope that with this scholarship, you will bring your knowledge and experience from your home country, which is India. You'll take this to the course and share it widely with the international English language teaching community during the course and while participating in all these wraparound activities. So basically, a lot of knowledge sharing for you to be part of the community of practice, a global community of practice, for you to contribute to the community of practice and for you to take back from them. And we also hope that you will act as the ambassadors for the UK postgraduate education sector of English language teaching by sharing your positive experiences within your professional community. And most importantly, we hope that you will get support. You will support the development of and improvement of English in your respective communities after you've done your master's. And like Viola mentioned, with the benefit of this online version is that you may be able to apply all your learnings on the go and feedback into the program as well. And many of you must be wondering why this focus on technology alongside the MSc TESOL. So why is there a specific focus on technology? We all know that educational technologies have played a very major role and increasingly so post-pandemic. I think there's already been a lot of research in this area about how this sector is booming. So we don't want our English language teachers in the government sector in India to be behind anyone. So we want you to be with the growing force. So we also feel that appropriate technologies have a lot of potential, but maybe this is a space which many teachers haven't explored and need support with. And there is a lot of understanding to be developed in this space and understanding of pedagogy for you to be using this effectively. That's precisely why we are focusing on the use of technology alongside MSc TESOL. And so finally, who is this scholarship for? We're offering, like I said, 2 scholarships, and you obviously need to meet certain criteria to be accepted onto the program. The basic criteria is obviously you need to have an undergraduate qualification and you must meet a certain English language requirement standard, which is why you will be required to take the IELTS, which is a mandate to be able to be for you to be taken on to the course and the scholarship. In addition to that, you will be required to meet the following criteria, which is on your screen. You need to have a valid Indian passport and a permanent resident status of India. So you must be a permanent Indian resident. You must demonstrate the case for financial support through a written statement. We would not like you to furnish any personal bank statements or anything of that sort, but we'd like to be certain that you meet the socio-economic need and you need that scholarship. You should not be in receipt of financial support from or funding towards any education in the past from UK or from any other source. You must not have previously studied at degree level or higher in the UK or lived recently in the UK. When we say recent, we mean in the last 3 years. You should be motivated and academically able to follow and benefit from a UK postgraduate taught course. You should be working in or directly with the government education sector in India. So this is a very crucial criteria we will definitely consider while shortlisting applications. The first kind of priority will be for the government school sector in India. You should be active in the field with a proven interest in the proposed subject area, and you should be willing to demonstrate your future contribution. So basically, how will you contribute to your sector after you've done the master's program? and this will be included in your scholarship application as well. So there's a written kind of a statement that you will provide outlining how you will contribute to your sector once you've completed your master's. You should agree to be a part of the British Council's global alumni network, maintaining ongoing kind of relationship with the British Council, and act as an ambassador for the UK and engage with activities as part of the scholarships for English language teachers alumni. You should demonstrate a plan and a passion to engage with the wider community in English language teaching. This will again be through a written response or a statement that you provide in your application, which will help us understand how you plan to do this. You should agree to your personal data being shared with the British Council as a result of this application. You are not eligible for the scholarship if you hold a dual British citizenship, so you cannot be a British citizen. You need to be an Indian citizen. You are not eligible if you are an employee or a formal employee or relative of His Majesty's government, including any British embassy, high commissions, departments for business, energy, industry, strategy, international trade, the Ministry of Defense, and the Home Office. You are not eligible if you are an employee or a former employee or relative of an employee of the British Council. So you shouldn't be related to the British Council in any way. The definition of relatives is mentioned here, and it's also mentioned on the web page. The UK universities will manage the application. So the application process will be managed by the University of Stirling. And we will be coming in, the British Council comes in only while the shortlisting of the scholarship applicants comes to the fore. That's really it for me. I will hand it back to Viola, who will talk you through the application process. Stop sharing.
Okay, thank you very much, Priya. I've just put the URLs into the chat, and I will also share my screen on that, just to give you a sense of what, so that you've already seen the website once and you know where you need to go. So that first link is to the website for the program itself. So as I've mentioned, you need to apply for that first. So please go to that website, have a look at that information. What you will need to complete by the 26th of April is this application form. It's an online form, and that is just like any applicant to the University of Stirling. You need to go through this form, provide demographic details and details about your previous education, your English language proficiency, etc. And that is to meet the eligibility for the entry requirements to the master's program to become a master's student at the University of Stirling. So these requirements are listed here in terms of academic requirements and also English language requirements. So anybody who's not from a country where English is considered a first language has to demonstrate these language skills, and you can refer to these skills here and these requirements and check them for India. Generally, our applicants will do an IELTS test. I know that you can also take a TOEFL test in India. So please take note of this, because depending on where you live, it might be that the test center is far away. So we have a deadline as well for successful candidates to then, if they have not obtained their language requirement yet, then you will only receive a conditional offer. And then we will require you to meet the conditions, which is usually the English language test. And then I think we said the 10th of August, is that correct? Yeah. So we need you to, once we have shortlisted you, we will contact the successful applicant in early July, and then you have around a month to still complete that IELTS test if you haven't got one yet. And that is important because if you don't meet the requirements, then we run out of time for anyone else to then meet the requirements. And we don't want to waste this special opportunity, of course. So here you will apply for the master's program itself by the end of April, by the 26th. And you will then, if successful, if you meet the requirements, receive an offer. The second step is then to apply for the British Council Scholarship that we've been talking about. Now, I note here it says the 15th of May. That hasn't been updated. We extended it to the 22nd of May. So you do have enough time. So please go to the second website and you can read these different eligibility requirements that Priya has just introduced also on this website. And then you will find in the how to apply section the links to the application forms, the master's application, and then the scholarship application form. This is another online form, which essentially asks for, again, your demographic details and your qualifications, but it's also our way of checking that you meet those eligibility requirements for the British Council that you've already been introduced to by Priya just now. So there are a couple of drop-down menus, and for example, for your qualifications and experience, you'll need to click add and additional text boxes will appear. So please do take enough time to fill this out. You might want to first keep a record of the longer text boxes in an offline form, just to be safe so you don't lose any work, because apart from the qualifications and experience, we also have a section on socioeconomic information. And this is to make sure that the scholarship really goes to somebody who can benefit the most from this. But also, of course, we want to make sure that the successful applicants are really motivated and committed, and to share their learning with the wider community. So therefore, we have these slightly longer questions or asking you to give a little bit more detail of why you are interested in this particular program and the educational technologies, which is the focus of this scholarship. And then to share how you're going to implement your learning from the master's program, and to share with your learners and wider community, but also with other teachers. And of course, it should also benefit yourself and your further continuing career progression. So these are sections that will perhaps require a little bit more work. And then finally, you will need to confirm that, again, that you meet all the eligibility criteria. And those are a condition for us to shortlist you. Except for the language requirements, as I said, we have a little bit more time. We recognize that you might need a few extra weeks to meet those language requirements, but the 10th of August is the final deadline for that. So I hope that has given you an idea of what you need to do. But we should have a little bit of time for questions now, if you have any.
Viola, I think we have some questions already in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked about, and I think this one is for the British Council. somebody's asking about their eligibility criteria, because I think I can't remember who, but uh, if you're in the higher education sector, the tertiary sector, uh, I think I'm going to say so. The eligibility criteria works like this. First, we give preference to government school teachers in the primary and secondary sectors. Uh, then we move to the tertiary sector within the government sector. We then move to the private school sector. Again, the same uh, rule is followed there. Primary school sector, secondary school sector, primary, secondary, tertiary. So government school teachers, first preference, government tertiary sector, next in line, and then the private sector. So you can all apply.
Hi Priya.
Hi Yoshita.
Hi. So we have one question here. How can we obtain an English language proficiency certificate? So I think this revolves around IELTS, if I'm not wrong. So when it comes to IELTS, the students have to register for an IELTS, and as IELTS is globally recognized and it's also useful for CV, so which is highly preferable. So the students have to enroll themselves for an IELTS, appear for that, and get your English language proficiency certificate, for which the scores are already mentioned. We need overall, I think, yeah, 1 minute, just put it earlier. Yeah, so we need overall 6.5 in reading and writing, and 6 in speaking and listening.
And team, there are quite a few linked questions to IELTS
Yes, yes.
and TOEFL, so maybe
I'm
you want
just
to address
answering
those.
them. Yeah, if IELTS had been given once, then will it be considered? So IELTS usually is valid only for 2 years. So if it is beyond 2 years, then you will have to reappear again. And when it comes to, again, the second question that we have is IELTS or TOEFL necessary? So we do accept other English language test, but we do not accept MOI, that is the medium of instruction, because that is not an English language test. We need only a self-test, that is the secured English language test. So other than IELTS, the students can appear for a PTE, that is Pearson Test of English, in which we require 62 overall, with minimum 62 in reading and writing and 60 in speaking and listening. And also, if not IELTS, then they can apply. They can appear for TOEFL as well. So TOEFL we need overall 80 with minimum of 19 in reading, 24 in writing, 21 in speaking, and 19 in listening. I'm just going to add that in the chat box.
Adnan has already done that. He shared a link to all the acceptable options, test options.
Okay.
So I think
Thanks, Adnan.
I would really encourage all of you, like Viola mentioned, to get onto the website, look at the links, spend some time, do some research, read up, because it's not going to be something that you'll be able to finish in one go, at least, based prior experience. It takes some time, and I second what Viola said about having all the information on a Word document and then transferring it here. So that gives you enough time to prepare on the Word document all your answers. And it also helps you not to lose any of your information, because I don't think there is a save option in the form. Is there one, Viola?
No, I think if you leave the tab open, it will stay, but it's a bit risky if you leave it for several days and then your browser updates or your computer shuts down. And so do prepare it first and then
Great. Yeah. When you're, transferring things, do it at one go after you've had multiple attempts at your preparation. Your final draft is ready. Transfer everything there. Like Adnan mentioned, priority will be given to K-12 teachers in the government school sector, and then the tertiary ones again in the government school sector. Many of you asked if you have a C1, C2, CEFR you will have to produce a valid certification for the same. Whether you are C1, C2, there needs to be a valid certification from the options given, shared on the website. So either an IELTS or any other test option which is acceptable. There is no age limit, like I mentioned, for the scholarship. You need to be an active teacher, so you need to be teaching in the government school sector preferably. I don't think there is an age limit for the course also.
Priya, there is one question from Shirish Kumar Jadhav. I don't have a passport, but I am the permanent resident of India. Am I eligible for this program? So, do you want to take this up? Or?
Yeah, if you are a resident of India, we are happy to take you on board, but you will require the passport at some point because you will, the online course has a 2-week face-to-face component attached to it. So it's a good idea to get your passport, even if, after you apply, once successful, because these things take time. So it's a good idea to get your passport because you will need it in 2025. The face-to-face component for this program is planned for 2025. We will confirm the dates and exact details later on, but currently it's planned for the year 2025. It's a paid for visit, like Viola mentioned. Just to clarify, for the IELTS or any other language tests that you undertake, we will not be able to reimburse everyone. We will only be able, the scholarship will only reimburse the successful candidates. So 2 of you who make it to the course will be reimbursed for the IELTS fee that you would have paid. The details of the application fee, if you're not eligible for the scholarship, are available on the website. When you go to the website link, I'm sure all these details about the application fee are available there. You are more than welcome to pay for the scholarship yourself, even if you don't make it to the, pay for the course yourself, even if you don't make it through the scholarship. Do we have any more questions? Please use the chat function and type your questions if you have any. Like Namrata mentioned right at the beginning, we will upload a recording of this onto our YouTube channel. My team will also share the recording link with all of you who registered for this webinar.
Priya,
And all
I
other
see
yeah, sure.
Sorry, I see some questions about the passport. So while applying this, the MSc TESOL online program, there is no requirement for your passport. The passport will be required when you are visiting Scotland or the UK during this 2-week period.
Also, Adnan, there is a question revolving around the application fee for the course. So there is no application fee for the course. So you can make the application with the required documents.
Absolutely, yeah.
The only component that will cost something, as Priya has said, is a language test if you don't already hold a valid language test score. And successful applicants will be refunded for the IELTS test, but only the 2 successful applicants. So that is why we allow you to have just a conditional offer at first, and then you can complete the IELTS test when you have been shortlisted, or when you have when we offer you the actual scholarship. But then you need to really make sure that you are on time with that and don't delay, because depending on where you live, as I said, it might be that you have to travel far to the next IELTS test center if that's the test you choose.
Right, Viola. somebody was asking about the selection criteria. Like I mentioned, government school teachers, tertiary sector teachers from the government. When I say government, it could be government, government aided, government affiliated. All these come under the government category. So we give preference to government school teachers, then the tertiary sector in the government aided or government affiliated colleges. And then we go to the private school sector and then the private tertiary sector.
Hi Priya, there is one question. I have not appeared for any of the given language tests till date. Am I still eligible? So that is, so as of now, while you are making an application, it is not mandatory to submit the English language test. So right now we can issue a conditional offer based on the required documents that you submit. Okay, like your academics, your transcripts, your degree certificate, and the passport copy, the statement of purpose, and the letter of recommendation. Once you receive a conditional offer, then you can go and appear for the English language test, whether it's an IELTS or a PTE or a TOEFL, whichever is convenient for you. And as Viola mentioned, if you get successfully chosen as a candidate, then we will refill the same.
Yes, it is necessary to pass the English language test, Asha. More than anything, it is important for you to meet a certain English language requirement for you to be able to cope with the course, because the course is designed at a certain language level. And if you don't meet that, it will be difficult for you to cope with it and to understand what is being taught and to contribute to the course. So it is only for you and in your interest that we are emphasizing on this. And it is a mandatory requirement. Regina, if you don't own a passport now, like Adnan mentioned, it's absolutely okay. You need to be a valid Indian citizen. You need to produce proof that you're an Indian citizen. I think you can do that with an Aadhaar card copy also. But eventually, you can get your you need to get your passport if you're selected, because you will need it to travel to the UK for 2 weeks. Munira, the scholarship is open only for English language teachers, because it is about English language teaching. You've got a degree 10 years back, you should be eligible, because when I said recent, we've kind of defined recent degree as any time in the last 3 years. So if you've got a degree, if you have a degree from 10 years ago, I think you should be fine. You can still apply if you meet the other criteria. Can I apply? Oh, sorry. You can apply if you enrolled for the other courses in India also, depending on your statements that you produce for the need for the scholarship and how you will take back your learning. You know, depending on the strength of that statement, you will be taken on board or not. Like Viola and Adnan already mentioned, this is a two-step application. You first need to be successfully taken on to the course itself, the MSc course itself. Once you receive the conditional offer, you will then be eligible to apply for the scholarship. And that's why those two timelines are really important. And I would also urge you, again, based on how we've seen the previous year's application forms, be as detailed and as be concise, but also be detailed as possible. Do not expect us to understand what you're trying to say with a 2-line answer. We've had this in the past with very short answers. It becomes really difficult for us to evaluate those, and then you don't make it to the scholarship or the course.
Hi Priya, there is one question. Where can one take the English language test? So Sudipta, there are, so you can go to the website IELTS, and every month there are a lot of dates. So, and there are centers all over. So you can just click on the link and enter your information and fill in the form and everything, and you can choose the nearest center, which is convenient for you, and enroll for the test. And on that particular date, you have to go and give the test. Make sure that you carry your passport And while you're enrolling, enter your passport details, whether it's an IELTS, PTE, or TOEFL. So you will require your details to be mentioned. And once you enroll, you can go and give the test. And once you receive the scores, you can submit it to the university.
All of this information and a lot more is available on the University of Stirling website. It is available on the British Council web page as well, which will take you to the University of Stirling website. So you can either land on the British Council web page or the University of Stirling web page, and you will get Naseem, 2 teachers, like I mentioned. This time with the University of Stirling, we are offering the scholarship for 2 teachers. Jay, yes, you can appear for the IELTS. You can take the IELTS after you receive your conditional offer. But it's a good idea to start preparing for it right now, so that you can crack it in one go. If you have to have multiple attempts, we will only be able to reimburse your successful attempt, just for clarification. We have a minute for any more questions.
I think we have covered most of the questions related to the requirements, the process, and everything.
Thank you, everyone. Duration of the course is 30+ months, Viola.
Yes, 2.5 years.
1.5 years, yeah.
2 years of taught modules and then half a year around of the dissertation.
It's open for Indian teachers who teach in India, not for Indian teachers who teach in other countries. I would request you to please visit the website for any other details. All of these details are up on the website, both the British Council webpage and the University of Stirling website. The links have been shared multiple times in the chat already. Thank you very much, everyone. And all the best for your application. Thank you, Adnan, Viola, and Yoshika for your time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.